Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. As always, we invite you to join the Patreon family. It's a very non-threatening place with loads of amazing people. Again, you can join that family for as low as $1 a month in these times and get exclusive videos. As everybody's focused on the funeral of the Pope on this Saturn's Day, you see here, Trump gets called out in front of millions as at Pope's funeral. The drama keeps going on as we see Macron and Starmer and Zelensky and 47. And yeah, you got to wonder, what are they really talking about? Okay, is this where it's my part to act like this? Is this where I say that? You got your lines, memorized for the big script that's unfolding?
You know what? I haven't seen too many people talk about it, but, Saturday on Saturn's Day, not that I dislike Saturn. It has a very important purpose in our lives and all of our lives, but this is a huge ritual. This is a huge changing of the guards. This is the gatekeeper. They're changing gatekeepers. There's a lot of things that are going to fall into place at this point. So I'm really kind of keeping an eye on it. I'm curious to see what's going to happen after today. I know it's going to be slow. I know it's probably not going to be anything major, but it could be.
Yeah, there are things that are catching the news, absolutely. And when you look at this, a lot of pomp, a lot of circumstance, you look at things that are written in the mainstream, portraying a saintly, depiction of the Pope again. But for those that know the true history, they understand what's really going on. Meanwhile, large explosion, Iranian port in Bandar Abbas. There are those that are 100% certain, that this is more of an act of war, and there are those that say, well, something went wrong here, probably just an accident. Again, there are no accidents in this world. Everything is happening with a purpose here. This is close footage. Hundreds. I've seen some reports saying 500 people injured on this, and numerous lives lost. The reports are still coming in. What exactly happened here? Of course, all eyes have been on Iran, and will there be an Iranian strike? Well, was there an Iranian strike? Does this have anything to do with Israel or the U.S.? Here you see flooding starts in Pakistan after India unexpectedly releases water into the Jhelum River without prior notification, according to Vicegrad 24. A very biased source, by the way, that does cover a lot on X. Gunshots reported at Indian-Pakistani border. India has accused Pakistan of violating the ceasefire along the line of control in Kashmir Valley for the second time in 2 days, as tensions rise higher. Again, this given as an almost unexpected flashpoint for WW3 to kick off in an official manner. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, protesters face off in London on opposite sides, and this says everything about humanity. We're always on opposite sides, while, according to Jim Ferguson here over in the UK, he says EMF radiation's off the charts in Birmingham. And, lasers being used. He's reading, or this person is reading the EMF. I checked this, and what did I see in Birmingham? Not much, but I did see a lot in the U.S., and I saw a lot in other countries. As you can see here, from my understanding, again, this is an app that's available to anybody. You could just download the app and start taking your own readings. We do have EMF meters of a more official variety. And I honestly haven't checked today yet. As we watch some sites go totally offline now, and some of them that were very dark have disappeared. But still, you see some massive numbers. I saw it before where they were saying the readings in Chernobyl were 300 CPM-ish. And here you can see there are readings, that are, if they are accurate, that's the question. Are these accurate readings? Or are they not accurate because it's just a little app that is, inaccurate? and doesn't do anything but scare people. You can see there's 4-digit readings there, and I've seen these readings come up time and time again. Not the exact same readings, but high readings in Mobile, Alabama area over towards Atlanta. Here we could see, up in Canada, that's a 624. This is over in Connecticut. This is 4,000. If that's the case, people would be getting sick. And do you know anybody that doesn't feel good? Maybe you do. Here, this is over. We have family in this area for sure, off west of Milwaukee, 651. That's pretty high. There's actually a lot of high readings. Look at this reading in North Dakota, 3,828. And when we jump over across the pond, you see very high readings in Italy, 678. Up in northern Italy, I see a 270 something. Over in Slovakia and Bratislava area, I've been seeing elevated readings, 4 digits over there. Wrocław. There's a lot of elevated readings. Now, I hadn't seen any in Birmingham, but we do have a 276 in Cardiff. Now again, are people downloading an app that is worthless and does nothing but cause people to be nervous? Or is there really something going on, as Jim Ferguson is saying over here?
You know, we know a lot of people that are going through some things, like physically they're not feeling well, going through a lot, and that could be, there's so many different variables out there, but when you see something like this, now you have this variable to add into it if it's in your area. So I would take a look at that map and see if you're being exposed to any of that.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel? How does everybody in your area feel? And please do share in the comments. Meanwhile, here we have RFK Jr. teasing the next target after artificial dye ban, talking about pharmaceutical additives. Again, there's a lot of you guys know exactly how we feel about that. There is so much work to do in this world. There are positive things happening, and at the same time, there's realizations happening too. Look beyond this gentleman's right shoulder here. This is up in Afghanistan. Why did Afghanistan have decades of war with Russia and then the U.S.? And in fact, if you go back and look through its history, it's been kind of nonstop warfare. But there are places like this around the world, nonstop warfare, that happen to have some really curious archaeological features. And these are stones that have been hollowed out. There are some writings on there that date back hundreds of years BC using scripts that are not in use anymore. And there are some that are a little bit newer, like around 300 AD. So, people have used these giant hollowed out rocks in the middle of nowhere. And again, this is an area that people don't really typically go, Lagman, Afghanistan. Why? Well, for one, obviously it's been the war. There's been wars going on all the time. Wars cover up history. This is what they do. They cover up history. And this doesn't unfortunately have closed captions. And it also is not in English. And this is also how English-speaking people, for instance, might not know this place even exists. There's not too much out there on this. There really isn't. Yet when I've seen these in other parts of the world. I was asking ChatGPT about it, and these go back thousands of years. Very, very curious. And it says, some of these were used by Buddhist monks, going way back in the early days of Buddhism, which would be, 2,500 years ago, for ritual purposes. A lot of times they turn things into ritual and also ceremonial, memorial, when they actually had functions. There was a reason. So Mahashastra is a very interesting area. And these are in India. Again, it goes back to the Mahabharata. It goes back to talking about the wars of the gods, which we were talking about with Wayne. or Wayne Steiger, and the possibility that we will be witnessing the wars of the gods over our heads, and just how many people, especially of a certain fundamentalist mindset, are convinced completely that there are no non-Homo sapiens involved here. Or if there are beings that are not Homo sapiens, then they're simply fallen angels and demons. And they don't realize that extraterrestrials, inner Earth beings that have lived under our oceans, even in cities, have been interacting with humans all the time from time immemorial. Only in the darkest of the dark age that doesn't happen. But there's evidence of it happening all over the world. When you look at this, why would people choose to live in rock? Well, for one, it's grounding. It's shielding, and when you look at the way that these things are cut into there, it shows technology. It shows advancement and understanding. And also, it is something that could actually boost our well-being, boost our peace, boost our health, and also even provide safety against certain advanced technologies that could be used on the people on the surface. But if you were in these caves and situated safely away, again, from an open line of sight, you might be shielded from some of these wars of the gods that have occurred throughout our history. There are whole giant cities, again, over in Israel, Syria, Lebanon, that were standing and intact. Thousands of them that were documented by people that were, again, new to the area, talking to the locals. And these cities, they are called giant cities because they were built by giants. They held giants, and they were terminated. All the giants were completely exterminated, and there's some leftover residue of that in the Bible. When you look to this, what we're really talking about is extraterrestrial interaction with humans understanding how to stay safe in unsafe times, and also the conditions that would actually boost the human energy field and also allow them to achieve altered states of consciousness where they could openly explore other realms by leaving the body through a meditative practice.
Just looking at these, could you imagine, what kind of being just walks up and starts to carve holes in these big, beautiful stones? What kind of beings decide, let me make my mansion right here in this mountain? And they just proceed to carve it out. There is absolutely no way with the knowledge and equipment that we have these days that anyone could just simply walk up and start doing this. These are relics of a different kind. And I don't see how anyone could really look at them and say, we are the pinnacle of modern technology. We're more barbaric in our ways than anything. These are beings that really understood how to live with the earth, and they knew that the stone connection, I call, any rocks, crystals, these are our elders. This energy carries the creation of earth. It carries the creation of Tiamat. It carries healing energy. It carries energies that can boost our consciousness because their consciousness is boosted. So I love looking at these stone buildings, and it, it kind of, how many of you used to watch the Flintstones? If you look at that show, boy, they said a lot there, didn't they?
Yeah, Project Bluebeam wouldn't leave ruins. This is something that's actually real. This is technology that's actually real, and it's actually, above, again, what humans are capable of. This was, again, looking into South America and Peru. But if we, again, look anywhere in the world, we'll see the evidence of this. It's all around us. And sometimes, when we're occupied with things, we don't necessarily look up and see what's right over our head at any given moment. Or we just believe what they tell us and say, that's just a falling rock. Yeah, that's all. It's just a falling rock. Nothing there to see. Nothing there.
Those guys are just cute.
Absolutely. Again, our history is not what we've been told at all. And where we are right now is where we've been in the past. It's a cycle, again, that repeats itself. There have been numerous advanced civilizations on this planet that have just disappeared in the blink of an eye. Again, thankfully, we are at the turning of a yuga, and we have turned that corner, but again, the dark control system is still trying its best to hang on to its power, which it manifests through the power of illusion and through lies and deception.
We have a ways to go.
We do. Look forward to your comments. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.